Hey everybody, Obsessive Prepper AZ. Today I am I've got my pancake mix. I've got 2 packages of it, and instead of leaving it in the packages, the large packages like that, what I'm doing today is I'm putting them in 2 of my mason jars here and the rest in my FoodSaver bags. And then what I will do is put a Sharpie right on it, what I've got in there and the date that I put it in. I used to have a larger family, all my kids, and we're at home. The majority of them are gone now, so we do not go through pancake mix as much as we once did. And so it's a better way of storing your products long term. That way, if I use my mason jars of stuff, then what I can do is go ahead and go back in, open up one of my bags here, and then dump it into my mason jars. And then once I get them into these FoodSaver bags, what I will do is place them inside a Mylar bag, so that way the light stays away from them and it's just, you know, double duty kind of thingy. So that's what I'm doing today. Also, I did a video a couple days ago on making apple oatmeal muffins from food storage. And in that video, I opened up, because I was completely out of my buttermilk powder, an entire can of buttermilk powder. So I was getting what I normally do, and then I thought I'd show you today, is I've got this can. This is a large can. If on the buttermilk powder, to reconstitute it, all you need is 2.5 tablespoons of buttermilk powder with 1 cup of water. So 2.5 tablespoons makes 8 ounces. So if you can imagine how many tablespoons are in this one container, then that's what you want to do. You want to either put it in smaller FoodSaver bags, something that, you know, you don't want to put it in one large container, because if you do that, then you're dealing with, again, having to figure out how to downsize. So it's better off just to go ahead and start with a smaller package, putting it into a smaller package. So what I've got here is my pancake mix, and what I'll do is I'll just sit here and tamp it to get it as much in there and get as much air out as I can already get, so that I have some distance there. And then get it in your FoodSaver. I love my FoodSaver. I have to say, this is one of the products that I use all the time. That's the deal. You put it in there, it sucks all your air out, completely seals it, and then all you've got to do is put a magic marker, what your product is, the date, and then if you want to just do it in the FoodSaver bags, or if you want to go that next step and put it in a Mylar bag, that's what I do. That's what I recommend for longer time food storage. There you go. So it's in the bag. Also, like I was telling you, I don't know if I've got my lids here or not. Kind of unprepared for this video. I was going to do the mason jars and didn't get it. I opened up another jar just to show you. I'm going to have to reseal it, but this is the quickest way that I can get it here to you. So what your FoodSaver will do, with your FoodSaver, you can get a tube like this. If for some reason, when you got your FoodSaver, you tossed it away, you can call FoodSaver, call them, they will give you the part number, then you can order it online. It was like $10 to get the part number. These little things you can buy, this is for a wide mouth, and then they have a smaller one for a regular mouth mason jar. This is your wide mouth. So all you're doing is you're putting your lid on here, make sure your rim is completely clear of any product. Then you sit this on top, put this on, push your canister button, gotta lock it down, push your canister button, and what this will do is completely suck your air out. Now there are times where I will put a muffin, let's see if I've got one here, depending on the powder, because you don't want the powder to go up into your FoodSaver. So if it's a real fine powder, what I will do is put a muffin cup inside and then put your lid on, and then suck it out. That will keep the powder from lifting up and going inside your tube. This is my eggs. I'm not going to seal this because I've got to use some of those today. So you know that's sealed when you hear that noise. Completely seal. All your air is out of your jar. And so this is a great way to store your mason jars full of your products. So what I'm going to do on my buttermilk powder is I'm going to go ahead, like I said, you do not use that much buttermilk powder. So what I will do is, when I'm doing this, I can find my scissors here, bear with me here. Instead of using a whole bag, what I will do is go in, cut the bag in half. I'm going to seal this one while I'm talking to you. And all I'm doing is sealing the end. And then what I will do is go back through and I will start filling up my buttermilk powder in smaller packages. Now, buttermilk powder, they've got an oxygen absorber inside here. So it shows you that you need to take your air out of your buttermilk powder. So this is, give or take, a cup, little heaping cup, in one of these little bags. And then what I'll do is I'll seal this bag, vacuum and seal is what you're doing. I can tell already that I don't have this in properly. You can hear the noise if it's sealing correctly or not. Okay, so now it's sealing. You can hear it because it's almost like it gears down in a way. So that's sealed. I will do my other little bag, and I'll just keep following this process, and then I will also pull another mason jar out. Not a quart size, just a pint. Like I said, I don't need to have that much of it readily available to me. So that's what I will do. And then also, I just wanted to say, while I'm filling all this up, I had the pleasure this weekend of meeting PetPrepper. I live here in Arizona. She is in Minnesota, and she was here visiting her BF's mother. And I got to meet up with her and sit around and talk a little bit of preps, find out about her family. She got to find out about mine. I have to say, what a pleasant woman. On the video, she's as crazy as she is on the video in person, but I like that kind of person. She is down earth. Her boyfriend was a pleasure, and I just have to say, I keep talking about our prepper world. I love our prepper world. Most preppers are good people, and I got a little bit too much in here. When you get down to it, I may do things my way and a little bit different, and some of you sitting back there going, well, I wouldn't have done it that way. But there's one thing we can all agree on, is that we want to take care of our families. We're kind of concerned about what's going on in our world today, and we just love our families, and we love the United States, and it was just a pleasure, I have to say. So Pet, you know, glad you came here. Next time you're in town, I'd love to meet up with you. I know this is your first time to Arizona, and you got to visit our lovely state and deal with our weather, and it was just an awesome time for you to come visit. And thank you very much for coming and blessing me with your presence. And then also over the weekend, I have been a little disturbed. Woke up to finding out that Chris Kyle was killed, was murdered. If y'all don't know who he is, he's a Navy SEALs, and him and his friend took out a gentleman that was in the Marine Corps, PTSD, post-traumatic syndrome, and was trying to help him out. And you know, story goes is he killed both of them. And what a shame for one of our American heroes to be killed by the hands of one of our own. Reviews, and I had to mention this today because I'm sickened by the mentality of the people out there. Now, it's your American right and it's your constitutional right to have free speech. But comments that, you know, because he was a sniper and what he did, you know, an eye for an eye, and you know what comes back goes around, and that he deserved to be shot, makes me sick. This man protected us, our country, your children, your family, and you are disgracing him. And you not more than disgrace him, you're not disgracing him, you're disgracing yourself. These comments, this man protected you. Now, you might not like the methods, but what he did was protect you and the United States. And our Navy SEALs and our Special Forces and Special Ops and all of our military deserve a thank you very much, a handshake, and we are indebted to you. One of the comments on his story, Huffington Post, of course, we all know, you know, liberal-minded, but one of the comments is why did they take the PTSD guy out? You know, anybody that's PTSD is basically a loose cannon and needs to be locked up. You are talking about gentlemen, women that have served our country proudly in war. And you're talking about because they have a mental instability coming back that they need to be locked up? You disgrace yourself. You need to be locked up. They don't need to be locked up. They need to be understood. They need to be walked through coming back. Most people don't realize that when kids join the military, they're out of high school. They haven't even framed their minds completely. And they are out in the world today protecting our country. Again, you know, I try not to get on rants. My Second Amendment thing, I kind of get on a rant, but it makes me sick. I come from a long line of military, and to hear these comments, you have your freedoms today because of these guys. And I just wanted to put out there that a little understanding, you know, because they did go to protect your country. They are the ones that gave you that right to have your Second Amendment. They are the right to give you your freedom of speech. That they are the ones that gave that to you. So to dismiss them and treat them like they're nothing, how dare you? Our gun laws are threatened every day, and a lot of people out there just think that it should be, and shame on you. You know, these gentlemen and women of our armed forces deserve our gratification, not being slammed in a silly comment that you can just post out there in this world today. And that's when, you know, as much as I love the internet, I hate it because people can just throw absent-minded comments and not have to be, you know, stood up to. And you know what, back in the day, you know, it wasn't, people didn't pull guns out and take violence out on each other. People have been stabbed their whole lives. You know, I mean, this whole world that we live in, you know, it's not the guns. It could be a rock. It could be just anything. I'm not even going to go on there. I could go off just completely, and that's not what my intentions were. But Chris Kyle, I commend you. I commend your family. My hearts and prayers go out to their families and the other gentleman that was lost, his friend. And shame on all of you that just throw comments out there in our internet world. And you know what? You'll be judged someday. You know what? And it won't be a comment on the internet. It'll be our Maker judging you. And you will have to stand and answer for the comments and the way that you have acted in your life. So that was my little spill. Chris Kyle, you know, that whole deal of, you know, him and his friend were out there trying to help this one gentleman. And the negative comments out there. So anyways, take your packaging, put your larger packages into smaller packages. Your food will store so much longer. That way you can rotate it. Smaller containers you're able to use versus looking at a big container and getting overwhelmed. PetPrepper, pleasure to meet you. You know, when I talk from the heart, and I truly believe in the things that I believe in, and I believe in our United States, and I believe in our freedom of speech, and I believe in our Second Amendment, and we are all trying to protect what is our God-given right to protect and defend and have the freedom to speak, just like I just did. And God bless you all. Whoops, one more thing. Hey, got so excited and I get emotional when I talk, and I just kind of want to go back and clarify what I was trying to say about the kids and our servicemen. And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of our military, granted we've got a lot of military members up, you know, going into their 40s and 50s, and you know, but the majority of the guys and women that go into the military are out of high school. Now, if you can even grasp what you were thinking about when you were 18, 19, 20 years old, it wasn't going into a war zone, it wasn't watching your back all the time, and it wasn't carrying a gun and trying to protect the people around you. And you've got to understand that these young service men and women go in, and that's all they have formed their life on. For, you know, and I tell my children all the time, when you're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, even up into 24, 25, what you thought you knew a year ago is not what you know today. So all they have done was grown up in the military. And now our military and our government is cutting our military back so much that we are going to have younger people that have grown up in the military. When I say grown up, I'm talking they're 18, 19, and early 20s in the military, and that's all they know. So they're leaving the military and they're coming back to us. And what you've got to understand is you've got to welcome with open arms and help them modify and adjust into the community. You know, they have been living a different life that you have no idea the life that they have been living. You know, and so all I'm trying to say, you know, before I got carried on, is have compassion. If they have PTSD, and it's not just younger kids, I mean, Vietnam vets have it, and they're trying to deal with it every day. Have compassion towards them. Shake their hand. Let them know they're worthy. Let them know they have a freaking job to come back to. Let them have worth and a family and a community and an environment that loves them and thanks them for what they have. Help them come back into our communities. Don't just expect that they, you know, Vietnam, these guys got brought back, dropped off a plane on the tarmac and went out into the world and expect to just, you know, live that life with no understanding of what our world evolved to. You know, when you're in the military, you're blocked off from the day's events, and it's a different world they come back on. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going back on a calmer note and just saying that our men and women deserve our compassion. That comment, and I read so many comments that PTSD, they need to be locked up, and how dare you, shame on you, and you know, like I said, you'll be judged. So again, have a blessed day.